specializing in cultural rituals of Northern Africa, including female circumcision.
Could you describe the procedure, please?
It varies. At its mildest, a licensed surgeon working in a hospital slices away the hood of the clitoris. In other cases, Sierra Leone is a good example, the mutilation is carried out in horrific fashion.
Can you be more specific?
Your Honor, we're not in Sierra Leone.
Well, I want to hear it. Go ahead, Doctor.
The girl is held down. There's no anesthesia, no sterile instruments, nor is there any post-operative care. The entire clitoris and surrounding tissue are removed, and then the genital area is sewn together, leaving a small hole for urination and menstruation.
Doctor, do you have any first-hand knowledge of what this mother intended to do to her daughter?
No, sir.
Well, this whole thing sounds ridiculous to me. We're in the United States. All the little girl had to do was run to the police.
Your Honor, you can't expect an 11-year-old child to defy her mother and grandmother.
I see that every day, Miss Ross. Children full of defiance, and worse. And some of them are a lot younger than 11.
In small, close societies, order and harmony are more important than individual desires or fulfillment. Promiscuity and infidelity are considered destructive forces. Female circumcision is seen as a stabilizing factor. When done humanely, there is no pain, no complications. How's that for a counter-argument? This case is a piece of crap, Adam.
Drop the charge. You have absolute prosecutorial discretion.
You know I can't do that. You killed somebody.
And somebody has to remind the public it's still wrong to do that.
I know. I just don't like being the messenger in this case.
Look on the bright side. You go to court, you lose. Eric Martin goes home. You still made your point.
The public school in town is very good. We've checked it out thoroughly. Allison could transfer anytime.
What other activities would be available to her?
There's hiking. We have a couple of horses. There's a pool in town.
Why do you think Allison would be better off with you and your husband?
Well, we don't plan to mutilate her.
How old are you and your husband?
I'm 67. Harry is 71.
Both of you are in good health?
Reasonably so. Harry does chores every morning. I do aerobic exercises and yoga.
Didn't your husband have an angioplasty 8 months ago to remove a 70% arterial blockage?
Yes. The blockage has not recurred.
And isn't it true, Mrs. Martin, that you have a family history of Parkinson's disease?
Yes. I don't have it.
But you might.
Your Honor, she might get hit by a bus. It's irrelevant.
The age and health of these people are not irrelevant, Miss Ross. We're talking about who's best suited to care for an active 11-year-old.
I look out for Allison. I make sure no harm comes to her.
When you found out Allison had a boyfriend and was using makeup, you were concerned, weren't you?
Yes, of course. She is too young.
Like any good mother, are you worried that she might become promiscuous?
Yes.
And do you think Allison should remain a virgin until she marries?
Yes.
Is she aware of your concerns?
I have talked to her.
So you rely on her good judgment. You trust she'll listen to you?
Yes.
What about your mother? Does she trust your daughter's judgment?
My mother is from a different culture.
And she wanted Allison to have this operation.
Yes.
Did you object?
My mother says it is the only way we can protect her and the family honor.
Did your mother protect you when you were a little girl?
Yes. When I was 8.
In a hospital?
No.
Was anesthesia used?
No.
Did you want to have this done?
They don't ask the child.
Then somebody must have held you down. Who did that?
My mother. And my aunt.
And who performed the surgery?
A man in the village.
Did they explain to you that they were doing this because they couldn't trust your judgment?
They said it was a passage into womanhood.
And this is what you were willing to have done to your daughter?
Everything here. The magazines, the television. It's all sex. Little girls dressing like prostitutes. Schoolgirls having babies. Where are the parents? I was afraid for her.
What gives you the right to tell us how to live? What gives you the right to ignore the law? And to pretend this is a free country?
Why don't we go in here?
In this country, your children turn out no better than animals.
In this country, you abuse a child, you risk the penalty.
This is not abuse. It is a family matter. We are saving Allison.
By maiming her?
Allison is none of your business. You Americans think you are better and smarter than we are.
Mother, she is only trying to help Allison.
She is not helping. She will bring disgrace to our family. This woman will never understand. But you know it is true.
All I know is what I have lived with since I was 8 years old. How could you love me and do this to me?
I wouldn't stake anything on Mary Martin's emotional state. Judge O'Hara's a real piece of work. We award custody to Medea.
When's he handing down his decision?
Tomorrow.
I have to set a trial date tomorrow.
Let's see if we can pull a rabbit out of the hat.
You cede custody to Eric's parents temporarily.
You plead guilty to manslaughter. 6 to 12. It's a generous offer.
And while I'm in prison, Allison lives with my family.
I'm her mother.
You can still visit her. You can have a say in how she's raised.
I'm not sure I want my wife to have a say.
I promise. I will never let this thing be done to Allison.
I don't want your mother near her. We have to move. Somewhere where she can't poison you.
Will you give up custody? We can revisit the issue every 6 months.
Do I get a vote every 6 months?
Yes.
Then it's okay with me.
Mrs. Martin?
Can I visit her?
Supervised visits, yes.
I must be supervised with my own daughter?
Until we're all satisfied that she's safe with you, yes.
And if my husband didn't go to jail, would we be able to keep her?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Martin. This is the best we can offer.
Will you let her go?
And the plea?
Accept my responsibility. It doesn't mean I wouldn't do it again if I had to.
Rough day. Hold your heads up. You looked a 3,000-year-old abomination in the face and you beat it back.
Only because we heard about it.
How many more out there we don't know about?
Pick a number.